Okay, so this was Cloudy Day, and I'm still not happy with it. We let it dry. There are some decent cells, but it's just for the most part the white, black, and blue kind of looks foggy to me. I don't know. I just didn't like it. So we are going to place this up here. And we're going to do a funnel pour. So I have a cup with a hole in the bottom. Put a funnel on top of it. Well, inside it. Try to level it to where it's against the canvas. That's the goal. Before I start pouring paint in though, I have this glow-in-the-dark paint, and I've used it a couple times, but I've always used it on top of pours or on top of paintings after they've dried. And it works great. But I'm wondering if I mix it in paint, if it'll make that color glow. So we're going to test it. I have a cup of white, regular white, that I'm going to be using. And then I've got a cup with the white and the Floetrol, and I'm going to put the glow in it. So what's already in this cup is 1 part white paint, 1 part Floetrol, and I'm going to add 1 part glow. It's a glow in the dark. It does dry clear, which is why I'm wondering if it'll work in colors to make that color glow. The consistency is good. I just want to make sure it's mixed in good. So we're going to test it with this pour. If it doesn't work, then I was using white anyway, so it doesn't matter. If it does work, then we're good to go, you know. Okay, so I mixed up some paints, and then I'm using some paints left over from my last pour. So today's colors are Flow Acrylics White, Flow Acrylics Black. I have Apple Barrel Cobalt Hue and Apple Barrel Bright Blue, which are the two that were already pre-mixed. And then I have Apple Barrel Caribbean. And then I have a Folk Art Metallic Amethyst, which is a new color that I just got. So this will be my first pour with it. And a Folk Art Metallic Antique Copper. So those are the colors I'm using, plus the glow. And hopefully that will work for me. So I'm going to put a little of the amethyst in the bottom, because the last time I did this, the color that I put in the base ended up being like dominant in the center once everything had moved. And I don't want the purple. Purple tends to, in other people's paintings I've noticed, just get faded into the background. So I'm going to do a little bit of the regular white, and I'm not going to put it directly on the purple because I don't want it to kind of sink all the way. I'm going to do some Caribbean. I'm going to do that the same way, just so that it kind of layers it. And then I'm going to put some of the bright blue that was pre-mixed. The goal is, and I do not understand why it keeps doing it, I'm just not going to put those on anymore. That's the second one today. Okay. The goal was to use all of these pre-mixed paints today that I had used on that pour. It was my first huge painting, and I had pre-mixed a little too much of some of the blues. And I'm going to use the rest of the pre-mixed Cobalt Hue. I'm going to use the rest of it. I'm going to use some of it. Then I want to do a layer of black. I don't do a lot of blacks in my paintings because I normally want lighter paintings. safe to say that is all of that blue. I had considered doing a little bit of yellow, but it just didn't, I don't know how it would have been with the purples and blues. So this is the White Glow. Some of that antique copper that I love so very much. And I'm actually going to go ahead and use all of it. My hopes is that some of that antique copper mixes in with that glow and gives it kind of a sheen. Some Caribbean. And it probably will not take all of this paint, but I've got my plastic down and I've got some new jewelry kits coming in, so I want to make some jewelry. So I figure why not? Some more of the White Glow. And I'm pouring it slowly because white tends to sink into the colors and help them mix, and I want it to kind of lay on top a little bit. I'm going to put just a touch more of black. And Caribbean. Go ahead and put the rest of that in there because it's almost done. Because I'll just use it for jewelry if it slides off. And then I'm going to put the last of my metallic amethyst. The metallic amethyst, Caribbean blue, and the white have silicone. That is it. Okay, so now I'm going to lift up on the cup and the funnel at the same time. And you can just watch it pour from the top. Last time I showed you the side view. There are some crazy cells already down here. And I'm holding it about 3 inches off, so it's pouring, you know, at a decent speed, but not like overly crazy. Okay, set that there and let it finish. The inside of that looks awesome. Already happy with this. I'm seeing rings, just like in a tree ring pour, but loads of cells. It's almost like the cells are the rings. I'm gonna let it move on its own for just a little bit more, not too much because it's already going off over there. And then I'll tilt, and hopefully it turns out as awesome as it's already starting to look. Okay. Okay. I want to work that kind of back toward the center before I pour anywhere else. But as I'm doing that, it's kind of tilting this way, so I'm going to do that corner. Okay, that's in the center. I'm going to tilt down there. Maybe a little less black would have worked. But I'm not knocking the black yet because I feel like the purple disappeared though. And I put it first so that it would, and last. I put it first and last, hoping that it would be a little more dominant, but I guess not. Okay, there's a little bit of the purple. There's a little too much paint on here, so I'm trying to figure out which side I like the least. To let some of this run off. And then bring it back. Okay, so this is interesting. There's not that much silicone in it, but we got a lot of cells, which I think the metallics tend to sew up most of the time, even without silicone. And the white lines are hopefully gonna glow, but we won't know until after it dries, and we'll see where it goes from there. So we're just gonna hit it one more time because I do see air bubbles. This is mainly just to pop those bubbles. I have plenty of cells. I don't really need more cells, but I do need to get rid of the bubbles. And I actually kind of like this a lot. It's busy over here. I like this side, I think, more, but I'll let you see. And it's almost like a little geode is forming over here. So let me grab you. Okay. Okie dokie. So, bottom left corner, look at those awesome metallics. The cells and the lacing, and it just all is, I don't know, lacing, webbing, both. Really cool. Look at the webbing inside this. Okay, let me pull it back a little so it's not so bright. Top corner. There's the little geode I was saying. It looks like a geode forming. The middle. And I didn't quite center that in the middle, but I like it the way it is. A really crazy busy bottom right hand corner. Love the cell action though. Some of the purple stayed. Some. And the top right hand corner. And then we'll go out for an overall. I think the picture will show better. Oop. Once it dries. And then look inside this awesome funnel. Oh, look at those cells. And hopefully, yep, there we go. That's actually going to be decent. I may hit that with a torch while I've got it here. Hold it up a little bit. And look at those cells. So that's going to make some nice little piece of jewelry along with all of this outside and underneath. So there's going to be some decent, ooh, I like that side, the edge. I don't know, I just really like this one. So I'm liking this new method. I may try it with several different colors. I may do a primary one and see with some reds and yellows. But if you like this, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think, let me know what colors you think I should try next. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. When we reach 100 subscribers, we will be doing a giveaway.